Hi, I'm Veronica and welcome to Jersey City Pilates. For today's class, you need light weights. Under 5 pounds is perfect, and if you don't have them, you can do the whole class without them. They are optional. We are going to focus a little bit more on upper body in this class and arms. However, this is still a full body class. We will get started in a nice child's pose. Go ahead and spread your knees as wide as feels good, and then try to have your toes touching. And then just walk your hands all the way forward towards the front of your mat. And then just press your heels back down towards your butt down towards your heels. And then press your hands away and then slide down onto the ground. And just take a few breaths here. You can relax your forehead onto the ground. Take a big inhale and feel your ribs expand all the way wide from one side to the other. And then just exhale and release a little bit more down onto your mat. And then another big inhale. Really try to feel your rib cage expand in all directions. Maybe you start to feel your back ribs lift up towards the ceiling, and then exhale, release. See if you can sink down a little bit more. Maybe walk your hands a tiny bit farther away from you. One more breath in. And then exhale. Sink back down towards the floor. From here, you're just going to rock your head so that you're looking under your right shoulder and then over to the left. You're just giving your forehead a tiny massage here on the mat. Keep reaching long through the arms. 1 or 2 more times to each side, just moving your head nice and gently. And last one to each side. Good, and then come up onto all fours. Hands underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips. And then for a second, just try to find the longest spine you possibly can. Think the crown of your head away from your tailbone, and then think about carrying that length as you round your spine up towards the ceiling. Let your heels, or your sitting bones rather, draw down towards your back of your knees, towards your heels. Head is heavy, gaze is at your inner thighs. And then think about continuing that length from the crown of your head to your tailbone as you come into extension. Making sure to not drop, you're pressing the floor away, and then curl the tailbone under, round the spine, drop the head. One more time, finding that extension. Think about opening up through the sitting bones. And last one, round the spine up towards the ceiling. And then back down. Once more. And then this time you're going to come into that extension. And think about widening your collarbones. You can externally rotate the upper arm if that feels good. And then from there, sit back onto your heels. Think about lengthening your chest forward. Your knees are parallel or legs slightly turned out. And then just come back up into that kind of extended neutral-esque tabletop, and then slide back towards your heels. And then come forward, just one more time here. And then at the bottom, round your spine, come up into all fours, and then stay rounded as you push back. And then come forward, staying rounded, gazes at your inner thighs or your knees, round and come back. And forward, 2 more times. And back up. Last one. And all the way up. Good. And then from here, come down onto your backs. So starting with your hips nice and square on the floor. Feet are nice and firmly planted into the ground. And then think about reaching your arms up towards the ceiling. And then keep reaching those fingertips up as you separate your shoulder blades away from one another. Spine is pressing down into the floor, and then drop your arms so that they're so heavy in your shoulder blades that your shoulders start to come towards one another, and then reach the fingertips back up towards the ceiling, and then drop down. And lift. drop them down. 3 more. Just continuing to now move through the scapula. 2 more. And last one. Drop your arms so that you're in a nice neutral position through your shoulders. Bend your hands and then interlace your fingers and then place your hands at the base of your skull. And then from here, reach through the elbows so that you're finding that space across both the front and back of your chest. You do want your elbows within your peripheral vision. And gently gaze down your nose or in the direction you're moving and curl the head, neck, and shoulders up. Feel the ribs slide down towards the hips and slowly release back down. And then again, curl the head, neck, and shoulders up and back down. 3 more. Keeping the head nice and heavy in the hands. This way you're not jutting your head forward. 2. And last one. And then lower all the way back down. From here, keeping yourself in a nice neutral pelvis, you're going to take an inhale, and on your exhale, bring your right leg up to tabletop. And then exhale, lower it down. Staying on that right leg, lift it back up. And lower down. And lift. And lower. Feeling your core, trying to keep you nice and stable. Your hips are square. You haven't started hiking that right hip up or letting the left one fall away from you. 3 more. 2. And last one. And then lower that right leg down. And then switch over to the left side. So on your exhale, float that left leg up. And then inhale, lower it away. And lift. And lower. And lift. Good. 4 more. I lied. 6 more. We did 8 on the last leg. The caffeine hasn't kicked in yet. Now 4 more. Keep thinking about that femur being heavy in your hip socket, the abdominals and psoas and inner thigh, all helping to lift that left leg up. Last one. And then you're going to leave your left leg in tabletop. Take an inhale, exhale, let your right leg come to meet it. From here, glue your legs together as though you have one gigantic leg and drop your heels towards your butt just a bit. Think about moving from the thighs and the knees. So right now your knees are pointing up towards the ceiling. You're going to let your knees fall away from you a few inches and then exhale, bring them back in. If you notice, either by feel or sight, that your abs are popping up towards the ceiling as you're lowering your legs away, reduce your range of motion. You don't want the abs puffing up towards the ceiling. Maybe you just come, slightly past 90 as I'm doing, and then you bring them back in a little bit more past 90 towards your body. So you're still getting a range of motion. It's just not huge. Do what works for you, not what you think looks perfect, because that doesn't exist. And then away. 2 more. Last one. And then come to the center. This time you're going to let your legs fall away. And you're going to bring them over towards the right side. So you can round your low back and press it into the floor here. Just making sure you're keeping your pelvis consistent, whether you're in a neutral or in that scoop. Let those legs come away and then hinge at the hips, bring them in. 4 more, still going over towards that right side. 3, 2, last one. And then bring them to the center and over to the left for 8. Good. 6. A little bit more weight is in that left hip. Check in on those abs. 3, 2, and last one. Bring your knees all the way in towards your chest. And then go ahead and rock from one side to the other. And then bring your hands on tops of your knees, and you're just going to make circles. Feeling your femurs nice and heavy, like you're stirring a pot with them. And then reverse your circle. And around. 2, 2 more in this direction. And last one. And then lower your left leg and lower your right leg. Hands by your side. Press your feet down in towards the ground. Curl the tailbone under and peel yourself up into a nice bridge here. And then you're just going to lower yourself down 1 vertebrae at a time. Keeping your neck and shoulder blades on the floor. And your feet pressing all the way down and then maybe a little bit back towards you so you feel that engagement through the backs of the legs as well. And back down. One more time, coming up. Pause here with the hips lifted. You can have your arms down by your sides, or if you want to take things up a notch, you're going to bring them straight in line with your shoulders. You're just going to lower your hips 2 to 3 inches and then curl the tailbone under, lift them back up. Let them drop, hinge at the hip, and then peel them back up. And drop, and lift. 8 more. 7. Staying totally steady through the torso, making sure your knees are staying in line with one another. You don't have your legs falling out towards the side. For 5, 4, 3, 2 more. And last one, pause with those arms at the top. Float your arms down towards your sides. And then you're just going to drop the left hip and then pick it up. And drop the left and left and left and lift. So you're rotating that pelvis around your spine and lower and lift. 4 more. 3, 2, and last one. Pause at the top, over to the right. Drop the right hip and lift. And drop and lift. And even though your pelvis is rotating, your rib cage is still staying more or less up towards the ceiling, trying to isolate the hips from the ribs. For 3, 2, and last one. Pause here at the top, curl the tailbone under, round yourself all the way down towards the floor. And then peel yourself back up one last time. From here, float the arms up, and then let them come halfway overhead, and then bring them back in line with your shoulders. And then let them fall overhead, and bring them back up. And overhead, and up. 4 more. And then we are going to grab onto our weights here. So if you have them nearby, that's awesome. And if you don't, we'll take a second so you can grab them. Last one. This time, lift your arms all the way overhead. Reach away from you. Peel yourself down 1 vertebrae at a time, reaching the fingertips away from the hips, and then bring your arms down by your side. Grab your weights. And then you're going to bring your arms wide by your side, and then you want your elbows slightly pointed down from your shoulders. So they're not directly in line, they're a little bit closer towards your hips. Again, plant those feet down. We're going to do a little bit more bridging here. You're going to press your arms up as you lift the hips, and then lower the arms down, lift the hips halfway. And up, and back down, and up. Thinking about keeping your chest wide so the arms aren't really coming in much narrower than the shoulders. And then think about bending the elbows wide to the side as you bring those hips down. 5 more. And if this is too much, you're just going to do the same thing with your hips down on the ground. 4, 3, 2, last one, stay lifted here. You're going to let your arms come back overhead like we did a moment ago, and then come right back in line with your shoulders. You're adding a little bit more weight, a little bit of stability challenge here, and back up. And over. And up. Knuckles are reaching long towards the ceiling or fingertips, making sure that your wrists are nice and strong. 2 more. And last one. Good. And then from here, you're going to dip the right hip, lower the right arm, and press it up. Other side, left hip, left arm. And switch. And switch. Just adding on to what we had done a few minutes ago. Really rotating through the hips. Now you're challenging your stability a little bit more by moving the arm but not letting the ribs go with. 3 more to each side. 2. And last one. And then lower all the way down through the hips. Keep the arms lifted. And then bend the arms by your side and lower them all the way down. Bring your knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a little rock back and forth from one side to the other. And then you're going to roll over onto your side and come back to all fours. This time you're going to bring your weights with you. Just have them towards the top of your mat. All right. And we will start on the right side. So your weight is going to be near your right hand, but we're not going to use it this second. You're going to extend your left leg out behind you. Float that leg up so you're nice and extended through the hip, and then tap it down and lift back up. And tap and lift. Good. If you would prefer to come down on your forearms, you can do so. Either way, you just want to be focused on keeping that weight pretty square through the center of your body. You're not all the way over your leg on that right side. And you can increase the width of your arms or your hands to give you a bigger base of support. 3 more. 2. And last one. Bring that knee in underneath you and extend it long. Bend it in and extend. And in and extend for 6. 5. 4, opening through the hip, squeezing a little through the back of the leg. 2. And last one. Good. Extend that leg long back behind you, and then curl the toes under. Reach through the heel and press back, taking a nice stretch through the calf, maybe a little even into the hamstring. And then come forward, back off for a second, and then go right back into that stretch. Good. And then bend that knee in underneath you. And you're going to bring your left hand slightly closer to the center, and you're going to grab onto the weight with your right hand. From here, take a big inhale, find your nice stable position, find the wrap of your ribs, and then you're going to float your arm up in line with your shoulder or just below. From here, you're going to extend that arm overhead and pull it back in. Crown of your head reaching away from you. The right wrist is nice and straight. You're not bending at the wrist as you reach long ahead of you. Have a little bit of softness in that left elbow. Good. Reaching overhead. Checking in on your torso, seeing if you're trying to side bend to one way, your hip wants to run away. Anything weird that's happening. 2 more. And last one. Leave that arm long, lower it down. Extend your right leg back behind you. And then you're going to open up with the right arm. So your left leg is a little bit of a kickstand for you. Right arm reaching up towards the ceiling. You're going to bend that right elbow by your side and then reach it up. And extend and reach. Good. Bend in and extend. And if you want here, you're going to add the leg. So you're going to lower the leg, lift the leg as you lift the arm. Good for 6. 5. 4. Think about really opening up towards the wall in front of you. Good. Last one. Hold the leg, hold the arm. Just the arm moves. For 10. 9. Keep reaching long out of those toes, finding length through the right side. For 5. 4 more. 3. Good. Opening and closing from the elbow. Thinking just about floating your arm up on top of whatever that elbow is doing. Last one, keep it long. Reach it overhead, tap the leg, reach the arm. Lower overhead and lift. For 4, keeping space between your shoulder and your arm and your ear. Really pressing the floor away on that left side. 2 more. And last one. Good. Lower that arm all the way down. Place the weight just in the center. And then you're gonna bring your weight out in front of you, arm is long, left leg comes long, and then float the arm and leg up and down. And if this is too much for you, it's gonna drop the weight. But really thinking about lifting off of the rib cage, not letting your body sink down towards the floor. Don't worry about how high you're going. For 4, 3, 2, softness in that left elbow. And last one. Good, lower all the way down. Drop that weight in front of you. And just sit back on your heels. Shake out that left arm, your left wrist. And then you're gonna come around to do the other side. So from here, we're starting with our right leg. Reaching it out long, finding our shoulders right over our hands, or our hands slightly wider, either one. And then float that right leg up. And then tap it down. And again, you can be here on your forearms if that feels better. You may find you have a little bit more stability here, not in a way that you're making it any easier for you, but like easier on your muscles. It's still challenging. For 3, 2, last one, leave that leg lifted, bend it in, and extend. And bend, and extend. 7 more. Good, really finding up the opening from that hip as you lengthen your leg behind. Think about reaching the sitting bone back as you bring the knee in, and then extend it. Good, 4 more. 3, 2, and last one. Extend that leg long, tuck the toes under, reach the heel back. Get a nice stretch through the calf. And then press yourself forward just a little bit and slide back. Good, reaching long through the crown of your head. Sorry if you can hear the insane noises that are happening in the other room. And then bend that right knee underneath you. You can bring your right hand slightly closer to the center if that feels good. And then grab onto your weight with the left hand. You're gonna start with your hand right below or at shoulder height, your choice. Take a big inhale, and then exhale, punch that arm away, and then resist to bring it back in. And extend overhead and bend back in. Good, check in on what your body wants to do. Mine wants to side bend over towards the right. Trying to resist that. Using your breath. 5 more. 4. Good. 3. 2. And last one. I'm going to extend the arm long in front of you. We're going to extend the right leg long. We'll do this first. And then you're going to float that arm and leg up and then tap it down. And lift and lower. Again, if you would prefer to do this here, your range of motion is going to be a lot smaller, but you are welcome to that as well. 5 more. And then we're going to go into those little modified side planks. 2. And last one. Good. And then plant the right leg down. Extend the left leg long. And then you're just going to open up, reach your left arm up towards the ceiling. Make sure that you're over that right wrist, and then bend that elbow in and reach it up. And then bend it in. And think about opening, I'm squished against the wall. Think about really opening up through the elbow. And then your hand is just sort of like the elevator being lifted by that. If you want to float your leg up and hold it there, you can. We have 3 more like this. 2, a little softness in that right side. Last one. Bend the elbow, lower the leg, and lift for 10. Good. 8. 7. Your gaze can also come down to your hand or straight ahead of you, but either way, just make sure that your head isn't hanging out in space, even if you do have a ponytail that's trying to pull it down. 3. 2, and last one. Pause with that arm extended. Just the arm reaches up and up. Good, reaching long through that left leg. Don't worry if it's not very high. I think we did this already, but 2 more, why not? Last one, and then reach the arm and leg overhead, and then lift it up. And reach it overhead again, keeping that separation between the ear and the arm by being connected, having that length. 3, 2, and last one. And then come all the way down and back around. You are going to grab both weights now, and you can be on your knees. And if you would prefer to do this in a low kneeling position, by all means, do whatever is more comfortable for you, but I will do this primarily from a tall kneeling position. So here, think about tucking the tailbone under, gently having an opening through, or openness through the front of the hip. You don't want to be here in a little tuck, and you also don't want to be back here. So you want your ribs right over your hips, over your knees. And then you're going to bring your palms up just in line with your elbows. Neck is nice and tall. Think that someone has a little string from like the top back corner of your head, and they're gently pulling you up tall. You may feel that engage your glutes and your hamstrings. That's great. Think about being tall. And then again, you're not rounded forward. You're nice and open through the shoulder blades. And then you're just going to externally rotate here and then resist to come back in. So on the reformer, we would do this sitting on the box, facing forward, and our hands would be in the straps. And so for this, or you can do this from the side with one arm, either way, you want to think that you have resistance from the front as you pull back, and then you have resistance from the back as you pull forward. So even though you may have 1 pound, 2 pounds, 3 pounds, or no pounds, try to create that sense of resistance for yourself. Elbows are just relaxed by your side. They're not pinned down. There's a little bit of freedom of mobility, but really you're just internally and externally rotating your upper arms. 3 more. 2. And last one. And then you're going to extend the arms wide to the side. Keep a little softness in the elbow and then resist to bring them back in. So like we were doing in that little side plane, think about opening from the elbows and then draw it back in. And open from the elbows and lift and resist. Good. 6 more. Finding that openness through the arm can help you find a little bit more stability so you're not moving through the torso or leaning back. Checking in, making sure your ribs are drawn down towards your hips gently. 2 more. And last one. And then bring the arms in. Good. From here, you're going to open, extend, bend it in, rotate in. And open, extend. Good. Really feel the support of your back here as you open up. 3 more. Bring it in. 2. And last one. Pause here, rotate the arms down towards the floor, rotate them up. Again, a little softness through the elbows as you rotate. Think about internally and externally rotating from the upper arm rather than the wrist or the elbow. Drop your weights if you need. Good. 5 more. 3. 2. And last one. And then reach the arms up, bend the elbows in. Good. From here, you're going to lower your arms by your side. You're going to sit your heels back towards your hips, and then come all the way back up. So think about holding on to 2 shopping bags as you hinge back, and then you stand all the way back up. And then reach down. Crown is long, neck is long. Think like you have like a broom from the back of your head to your tailbone. And it's staying connected to you the whole time as you reach down and up. Good. 4 more just like this. 3. 2. And last one. And then from here, you're gonna bring your right foot forward, tuck the tailbone under. If you need, fold your mat over or grab a little towel or something to put underneath your foot. You're just gonna hinge forward ever so slightly, and then you're gonna reach your right arm out to the side, and then resist back down. And then just the right arm lifts and back down. Feel the wrap of your ribs. Crown of your head is nice and long away from that tailbone. And then think about spreading your toes as well, holding still through that right side, or left side rather. 3 more. 2. And last one. Come all the way down, coming back to your, I don't know, picking up grocery bags feels like the most useful thing. Literally anything off the floor, and back up, and down, and up. Really thinking about finding that hinge through the hips. 3 more. 2. And last one. Pause at the top, bring that left leg forward, and then find a little reach through your torso, and then reach that left arm out to the side, and then resist, and lift, and reach. Good, 6 more. 5, crown of the head is nice and long. Make sure you haven't tucked your neck under and you're not looking towards the ceiling. Your gaze is just in a nice neutral position. 4 more. 3, 2, and last one, and then lower down, and then you're gonna come to stand. So I will face you so you can see me. Actually, I will not. To start, you're gonna hinge forward and you're gonna bend the arms in and then extend them long. And as you stand up, you're gonna bend the arms like a little bicep curl, bringing your weights by your shoulders. And then as you hinge at the hips, you're gonna extend your arms long by your side. And then do a little bicep curl and extend the arms back. And lift and extend. Your feet can be parallel or a little wider. And reach. Think about hinging back. And like you're just extending and opening from the elbows. Getting a little squeeze of that tricep for 8. 7, 6, 5, and then we're going to stay down. 4, 3, 2, and last one, stay down here. You're going to bend the elbows in, drop them down by your side, and then open both arms out to the side and back in, and open up and back in. Think about your shoulder blades gently sliding in towards your spine. Hands are below the shoulders as you lift. Soft bend in the elbows. For 5, 4, neck is nice and long. 3, 2, last one, lower the arms down. Pull the elbows up by the side and lower down. You're staying in this hinge. For 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, lift the elbows, extend the arms back for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, shoulders are relaxed, 3, 2, and last one, lower the arms all the way down, stand up nice and tall. Reach your arms in front of you. You can bring your feet a little wider if you'd like. And you're just gonna round down from the crown of your head, let the weight pull you down, and then just roll them out of the way. And then bend your knees a whole bunch, shake your head out. And then from here, round yourself all the way back up, 1 vertebrae at a time. Make sure you're towards the back of your mat. And then you're gonna round your spine down 1 vertebrae at a time again. And then you're gonna walk yourself out into a plank. So find your hips are gently tucked under. Your weight is both evenly going out of the crown of your head and your heels. Your elbows are soft. And then just take your hips up towards the ceiling and find a nice down dog. You can walk your dog out, bend one knee and then the other, reaching your your heel towards the ground. Hips are reaching up towards the ceiling. And alternating sides for 8, 6, 5, taking a few breaths here, 3, 2, and last one. And then you're going to come back into your plank. Find your nice long plank position. Drop to your knees if you need here. And then you're going to point your toes and send your weight forward, and then flex and send your weight back. Point and go forward, flex and come back. If you are on your knees, you're sending your hips back, and then you're coming forward and back and forward. And you're just finding how your abdominal connection feels as you slide forward and back. Hips are more or less in line or slightly below the shoulders for 4, 3, 2, and last one. And then lower yourself all the way down to the floor. Make sure your weights are out of the way. And you're going to extend your arms wide in front of you in a wide position, and you're going to do the same thing with your legs. And then just let your forehead come to the floor, and then give your hips a little shake. You can give your head a little roll from one side to the other. Whatever feels nice here. And then you're going to press your hands into the floor, tuck the tailbone under gently, find a little bit of space through the low back. And then you're just going to float your head and chest off of the ground. Your shoulders are probably already lifted. And then you're just going to lower back down. Float your body back down. And then again, pick yourself up. Find that little length through the upper back and openness through your chest. And lower all the way back down. One more time, lengthen and lift. And this time you're going to hold. And you're going to lift the right arm up and lower down. Staying on that right side, finding the tuck of the tailbone. If this is too much, bend your left elbow in, just like I have, and you're giving yourself a little bit of support here. Just make sure that shoulder is nice and relaxed and not reaching up towards your ear. For 3, 2, and last one. Lower that right arm down, and then lengthen yourself all the way back down. Give your hips a little shake. And again, coming back up. This time you're just moving that left arm. Again, bend the right arm and bring it in if you want a little extra support. Really find that length through the low back so you're not crunching here. You can also lower down a little bit more. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and last one. And then keeping your arms here or bend them in, your choice. You're going to reach your right leg long and then bring it back down. And then right leg and down. If you are uncomfortable in this position, you can also just do this all the way down with your forehead resting on your arms. Your choice. 2 more on just the right leg. Last one, lower down. Over to the left. Thinking about reaching so long through that left leg that your foot, shin, maybe a little bit of your thigh just float off the mat. 5 more. 4, 3, 2, and last one, lower all the way down. Reach your arms back out long one last time, lower everything all the way down. Give your hips a little shake last time. Find the connection of your abdominals, lift the head, neck, and shoulders up, and we're going to alternate swimming. So left arm, right leg, and switch. And switch. Switch. And if you prefer to do this in more of a parallel position, you can slowly just bring your arms and legs back in. If you want to have fun with it, bring your arms and legs back in, and then bring them back out. And then back in. I like that. This is a little fun. And last one. Find a little bit more extension through that upper back, and slowly lower everything all the way down. Bend your knees and bring your feet up towards the ceiling, and then bring your knees just a tiny bit wider than your hips. And then you're just going to windshield wiper Your legs from one side to the other should feel nice on that low back. Good. And then from here, extend your legs long. And go ahead and press yourself into a nice child's pose. And then come onto all fours. And you're just going to bend that right knee and slide it right up towards the ceiling. And then from here, you're going to externally rotate that right leg and then bring it center. And externally rotate and center. And rotate and center. 4 more. 3, 2, and last one. Good. Rotate it center, extend the leg long, curl the toes under, place it down. If you would prefer to do this on your forearms, you can come down onto your forearms. You're going to reach long through the heel and then take a big inhale. And then exhale. You can round slightly into your plank and you're going to lift that left knee off the floor. And then lower it back down. Inhale, exhale, lift. And back down. If you're on your forearms, your hips are more in the air and it looks like this. And down. 3 more. 2. And last one. And then extend the left leg back behind you. If you would like to drop to your knees, go for it, but you do need to be on your hands. You're going to bend the elbows back by your side for 3, 2, and last one. And then bend the right knee in. Extend the left leg long, lift it, and then bend the knee and reach the foot up towards the ceiling. Tap the knee down if you need, reset yourself, and then you're going to externally rotate and bring it back center. And externally rotate and center for 5, 4, keeping your thigh at more or less the same height. 3, 2, and last one. Lower that leg down. Find your nice plank. You can come down onto your forearms if you prefer. Inhale. Exhale, lift that right leg. Lower it up. 4 more. Inhale. Exhale. Find the deepening of your abdominals, a little hinge through the hip on that right side only to lift that leg. And down. 1 more. Reach it back behind you. Find your length. Bend to your knees if you'd like. And then you're going to exhale for 8, 7. Keeping your head in line with your spine. 4, 3, 2. Last one. Lift your hips up towards the ceiling. Bend your knees and send your heels back by your butt. And then shoot yourself out into a plank. Lift the hips up. Bend the heels back by the knees. And then shoot yourself forward. Find your plank. 2 more. Lift up. Take a nice little breather for a second here. And then you use this position to shoot yourself all the way into your plank. Last one. Lift. Bend the knees. Come forward. Bring your feet a little wider. You're going to rotate over to the right, open up into a side plank. And then come back to the center. Open up to the left. You can do this with your knees on the ground as well. Find your plank. Your kneeling plank is like this. And then over to the left. Last one to each side. Over to the left. Come back forward, hold your plank. Take 3 breaths. 2. Last one. Reach your hips up towards the ceiling. Bend your knees a whole bunch. And then bring your knees wide onto the mat. Reach your hands forward and we will finish like we started. Slide yourself all the way back. Press the hands into the floor. Use that press away from you to find a little more length through the upper back. Maybe to find your heels closer toward your butt. other way around, but that's fine. And then you're going to walk your hands over to the right. Really reach through that left sitting bone, left fingertips, getting a nice stretch through the side, maybe the armpit or shoulder on that left side as well. And then come all the way over to the right, or left rather. Same thing, really reach through that right hand now, right sitting bone. And then come back to the center. And then you're going to slowly roll yourself all the way up. Find your head on top of your spine. Reach your arms wide out to the side. Reach them up towards the ceiling. And then externally rotate the arms. Feel the tailbone drop. Press down through the arms. Lift the crown of your head up towards the ceiling like you're a corkscrew. And then let your arms find your sides. And you're all finished. Thanks.